Hello everyone, my name is Philip Sunday Conde. I'm going to be doing 2.3 Common Red Presentation on Rhetoric, Rhetorical Concept on Presentation. And today I'm going to be doing one of my CWC, which is on communication. Everything's on this earth starts with communication, and God said, "Let there be," and there was. So there was communication, and God has to communicate. And so if we cannot communicate, our mind, if we cannot communicate our thought, if we cannot communicate what we have, the ideas we have, problems cannot be solved. And so it is as a result of communication that several things came into being. And it's also as a result of lack of communication that the world is currently in chaos. And so I want us to really look at what communication is. I'm going to be using four authors to look at what communication is and how they actually presented the five contexts of communication. And today, let's dive in. Today, let me go to the first one, rhetoric of communication. Today, I'm analyzing how four texts define communication through rhetoric analysis. Instead of just reading for content, I've examined how each author uses five key concepts: audience purpose, rhetoric appeals, main idea, and text to convey their message. What I discovered is that communication is far more than exchanging information. It is a dynamic process shaped by who is speaking, who is listening, what is at stake, and how the message is crafted. Let me show you what I mean. Across all four texts, communication is never just about words. It is a multi-layered process where meaning is co-created between speaker and listener. But this case shows how language shapes thoughts. Jameson explores how storytelling builds connection. Dixon uses paradox to force reflection. Springsteen reminds us that communication happens beyond words through non-verbal cues and shared experience. Together, this text argues that effective communication requires awareness, flexibility, and perspective taking. Now, let's analyze how each author achieves this through five aspects of rhetoric. Each author carefully considers their audience, Boroditsky speaks to a general TED talk audience using everyday example about spatial language to make complex linguistic concepts accessible. Jamison's audience values emotional depth. She connects through the lonely whale story to explore questions about connection and isolation, trusting her readers to engage with complex emotional material. Dixon's audience is the introspective yes reader. Her dense paradoxical style demands slow, thoughtful reading, inviting the audience to participate in constructive meaning. Finally, Springsteen communicates through non-verbal elements, gesture, tone, and shared energy, reminding us that communication isn't just about spoken words. Each author has a different purpose. Predicting aim to persuade, she wants us to see that language shapes how we perceive the world. Jameson's purpose is evoking emotion and empathy. She wants readers to connect with the whales slowly by extension with each other. Dixon's poem aims to provoke reflection. Her paradoxes stop us in our tracks, forcing deep thoughts rather than passive consumption. Springsteen's purpose is demonstration, showing that communication happens in the space between words, in the energy exchange between performer and audience. The authors use ethos, pathos, and logos distinctively, but distance lens on ethos and logos. As an expert researcher, she backs claims with studies, building credibility and logical soundness. Jameson uses primarily pathos. Her whale story is deeply emotional, building connection through shared feeling rather than data or authority. Dickinson used a powerful mix, emotional charge, yet intellectually engaging. Her paradoxes creates friction that engages both heart and mind. Sprinting combines pathos with ethos. His reputation as an artist lends credibility while his emotional delivery creates powerful connection. Together, these appeal shows effective communication requires balance, logical, emotion, and credibility working together. The main idea converge on a central truth. Communication is about more than words. But Dixon teaches that language doesn't just describe reality, it creates it, shapes how we think and perceive. Jamieson shows communication is about creating empathy through storytelling. We connect with others' experiences. The world story is about the human need for connection. Dixon demonstrates communication through paradox and reflection. Her poems don't give easy answers. They invite us to struggle with ideas and discover our own understanding. Springsteen reminds us communication happens in the space between words through gesture, music, and shared experience. Effective communication engages the whole person, not just the mind. Each author uses specific rhetoric devices. Brodisky uses comparison to show how different languages create different thinking patterns, like how spatial language varies across culture, revealing how thoughts follow grammar. Jameson uses storytelling and vivid imagery to paint the world's loneliness, making an abstract emotional state tangible and relatable. Dixon uses paradox, contradictory statements to make readers pause and hold opposing ideas in mind, creating deeper understanding through tension. Springsteen uses non-verbal communication, reminding us that words aren't the only way we send messages. His performance itself is a test. Communication through music, gesture, and shared energy. In conclusion, rhetorical analysis helped me to see these tests differently. Not just reading for information, but understanding how authors try to influence us. I also realized communication and problem solving are connected. You can't solve problems well if you can't communicate well. And if you can't communicate well without paying attention to how people think and feel. What stood out most to me is that communication isn't just about what you say, what we say, what we all say. It is about how the other person hears it. The same message can mean different things to different people. That is not a problem. It is just how communication works. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. God bless you.